but I do think that black is up a pawn here, and in compensation for that down the c file, that knight on c4 loose, the knight behind it, the queen behind all of those minor pieces. So I do think that white does have compensation, and Wesley needs to be careful here because things can start getting a little tricky.
I feel sorry for Denis. He's been thrown in at the deep end facing Magnus in the first match of the day. He was so close there, so close, but not close enough in the end to holding that draw, in the end going down to a match defeat. Against Wesley in the first game of this round, he was so close again. He did everything perfectly. He was close to achieving the draw and then blundered in one move. And both matches he started with the black. Now he needs to win with white. And he's taking risks. He's given up a pawn as he needs to do. He needs to create something and balance it somehow. And yeah, the more I look at it, Robert, the more I think you're right. There is compensation, and black does need to be accurate. Black's bishop on c8, the light square bishop, still needs to come out. No obvious moves here, and some loose pieces in the black camp. This one really in the balance, hanging on a knife edge right now. If Wesley's accurate, he should be fine, of course. Maybe even more than fine, but I don't see a way. I don't see an obvious way yet.
And Wesley's in for a deep think. We see he's been spending over 4 minutes on this turn. He recognizes the magnitude of the moment, that he cannot just play a quick choice and then find himself defending the rest of the game. And so for Wesley So, he's one of the most accurate players in chess history. He knows when the situation calls for a deep think. It's a tough moment, though, because if he retreats his bishop, which is in the queen's sight, then that knight still moves out of the queen's passing. Bishop a7, knight c4 to e5, and yeah, you could play bishop d7 to defend that c6 square, but that doesn't look very good because d4 will hang in some of these positions, and there are so many pins and tactics in the air.
Yeah, suddenly look at those white pieces. Queen, rook lined up, knight perfectly poised in the center, bishops fianchettoed, and their X-ray vision exerting extreme pressure. And Wesley, in the end, does play a move, bishop to d7, roughly balanced. And yeah, for now, let's take a step back and see whether Denis can find compensation for that sacrificed pawn.
Denis Lazovic trying to create his chances by sacrificing a pawn for initiative against a player who's considered the hardest to beat amongst the very best in the world. Wesley So needs only a draw for this one, and we are going to keep our eyes out on this one. Meanwhile, we're going to check in with our crew in Toronto as James is joining us with an update. James, what's the atmosphere like in Toronto right now?
The atmosphere in Toronto is absolutely crazy. It's fun out here, guys, of course. There's so much chess, right? We have the food, everything's good. But, of course, right now, on the chessboard, things are very explosive. As we saw Firouzja, especially in the round one, there was able to take out Fabiano, which is really, really strong there, of course, especially as he was sacrificing pieces and etc. We saw MVL as well as he's playing. I mean, guys, there's so much chess going on. So I'm excited. I'm just here in Toronto watching you guys all the way in Oslo. So it's been very, very fun. What about you guys over there?
Oh, we're having an awesome time calling the action as well and seeing all the updates that you guys are bringing us from the onside. And what about Denis Lazovic? We've been talking so much about him, James, here. This is such a big opportunity for him. How is he feeling? He starts the day with Magnus. Now he's up against Wesley. Did you manage to catch hold of him? What's going on with his mindset right now?
Yeah, of course. In the first round of when I'm able to draw Magnus in any format, I'm going to feel good. So, of course, hey, he lost the match, but he did actually, end up drawing Magnus. So that feels good. At the end of the day, that's exactly what I would be feeling like. I drew Magnus. I just got to keep playing and keep hoping for the best. Obviously, Wesley's giving it to him. But at the same time, look, I got to play this one thing at a time. I am the lowest seed. I got to go out here and play. I've won Title Tuesdays before. I've played these guys before. I just got to get out of my own head and play the 64 squares.
Absolutely. It's got to be feeling good if you're able to hold Magnus in this one. Now, with such short turnaround time between these games, James, between game one and game two of the round, what do the players get up to?
Actually, they come out and they stretch a little bit. You can see some emotions. They grab some snacks. They get some water, right? Me and Fabi did a couple push-ups. Kidding, we probably do that later. But of course, at the same time, the guys, they just get right into the right mindset. You can tell everybody around here is very focused. And of course, Arbiter's doing a great job of, hey, got to get back to the games. Fair play check is on point. I mean, everybody here is just really serious, right? It's a very serious vibe here. A lot of money on the line, a lot of pride on the line too as well. I mean, did you see first prize, Tanya? Were you paying attention to the cash money that is in first first place. Of course, there's a lot of focus here and lots of emotions, but they don't wear it too much on the face. In fact, I saw Firouzja being very, very calm. As you can just tell, he's walking around, got the swag going, got the I'm Mr. Gucci Reza feeling good. You can tell he's in the right mindset here. Everyone else too as well. So
FOMO right now. It looks like a great time out there in Toronto. What's been the highlight for you so far? I know it's still early days, but what's been the moment you've enjoyed the most?
You know what? Actually, the chess part. I love Toronto. It's nice out here, and I'm a Toronto. In fact, they said take out the other T. That's how they know I'm not from here. But at the same time here, it's been very fun. I love everything about Toronto, but the chess part has been the greatest. In fact, really seeing that Firouzja game was probably the biggest thing for me. It's 2 games, in fact, sacrificing on both games, which is really insane. Playing great chess, great form here. Dark horse in a way. We had some picks, of course, as we saw some people wanted to pick Firouzja there, but they're like, oh, Magnus first, Hikaru, Wesley, and not so much Firouzja, of course. So we're starting to see, and especially if he can close out the match, I mean, he's really going on good fire and good form. Great to see the chess.
Absolutely, James. Well, we're here in Oslo. It's definitely Toronto for us, as we're calling the action from here. And I want to ask you before you go, there's been a quick drop between Maxime and Hikaru. We go into an Armageddon between these two. Have you seen them? What are they up to right now?
Yeah, with that Armageddon, of course, I actually saw how Hikaru looked in the cam. We all saw it. I'm sure chat was going crazy. He's like, Hikaru looks bored, kind of thing. And just kind of sitting around and having a good time, right? But the Armageddon is anything but a good time there. I'm not sure who actually won the Armageddon there. I think it was Hikaru, but if Hikaru wins the Armageddon, I'm thinking he'll probably take black there. He'll take black, and then hopefully hope for the best here. I will to go through the motions, do our thing, get to Armageddon real fast because I am, speed champion, also MVL being a speed champion too as well. But I'll get those 2 results, especially if I draw or win with black. So, best of luck to both.
Thanks, James, and we will check in with you in some time. And it's been fantastic having this chat with you. Meanwhile, some fantastic